accountant extraordinaire. We've been working together almost a year. It'll be in a few months, but it feels like I've known you forever.
It feels like
And yeah, when we get on our calls, our monthly calls to go through my numbers and everything like that, which I gotta say, I just feel like a big grown up adult business owner in these spaces. Because I started off, for those of you who've known me through my coaching journey, I quit corporate after 15 years to follow my passion. And it was a rough start. I was just scrapping it and scraping it. And then I recognized that I needed to really have some organization around understanding my numbers and where I was going. And I've gone through a series of professionals that were not the best fit. Like everything, we
sometimes
have to
when
have,
it has to be a good fit, right?
yes,
Personality, everything.
everything. And I didn't know that. I learned by doing. And so I finally found someone in Carlene that I can trust, that I feel so grateful for, that is such an expert at what she does and gives me such amazing clarity and just overall feedback in terms of my business. So I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself, Carlene, to the people. Tell the people who you are.
Well, hey everyone, my name is Carlene LeMay, and I own an accounting firm, C2 Accounting and Business Support. And what we do is provide bookkeeping and back end support to small business owners, particularly service professionals like Bridget, who are trying to go from just having numbers, but actually using that information to move their business forward.
Yes. And she does it amazing. I feel like my business has moved forward and I've moved forward in so many incredible ways because of the clarity that Carlene provides. So I'm so grateful that you're here.
And can I just say how proud I am of you? Because, like, one of the things I get a lot of pleasure from is watching my clients grow as a business owner, as a person. And so I love when you use the term big girl finances because it is. It's kind of like you went from like this is my business, but now this is my business. This is my empire. This is the legacy that I'm now building. And so I am super proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. It means a lot, especially because for those of us who create businesses, we do it from a space of passion most times. And
Hmm.
to have someone like you in our corner that can affirm we're doing it right, because I will tell y'all, if you're listening, whether you're a career person or a business owner, and if you look as though you have it all together, there's still a whisper in all of every human that wonders, am I doing it right? Am I
Hmm.
messing it all up? Am I going to fail? Do I completely suck? So, what I will say I'm so excited for in working with you, Carlene, over the last year is how much affirming you have given me around, no, you're actually managing what you're doing pretty well. And that feels so amazing
Yeah.
because we do doubt. We doubt ourselves.
We do as business owners, and sometimes I think as women in general, we hold ourselves to such a high standard that having someone from the outside tell you, you know what, you may not always feel like it, but you're doing a good job. It just means a lot.
Yes. I remember there was this meme that was circulating the internet a few years ago. Girl, you're doing a good job. Girl, you're
Yes,
doing a good job.
I
Girl,
love
you're
that
doing
one.
a good job. Yeah, we need
And
it. We need
sometimes
to
we
hear
need
it.
to just hear that, right? Yeah.
For sure. So I'm excited for our conversation today. If you're just joining us, this is Carlene LeMay. She is my incredible bookkeeper and accountant. And we were chatting last week about my business, about my numbers. And I was sharing with her how excited I am because I am launching my first 1 day retreat. So for the
Mhm.
last 5, 6 years, I've hosted multi-day retreats in beautiful locations like Mexico was in March this past year. So good. I've hosted retreats in Costa Rica over 5, 6 days. Beautiful, lovely time. Hosted them in Orlando. And so I was sharing this so excitedly with Carlene, and she says to me, what did you say, Carlene?
I said, wow, that sounds amazing. But let me just tell you, I'm not a retreat person. I'm not a
Yeah.
retreat girl. I think is how I put it.
Yeah.
And you responded in a way that by the end of the conversation, things changed for me. So,
let's talk let's talk through this because there were so many light bulb moments, not only for you and maybe thinking, well, gosh, perhaps I could be a retreat girl, and a light bulb moment for me in that, wow, I thought I how did my light bulb moment was, wow, there might be other women who
who felt
think the
like
same way you do.
exactly? Hmm.
Yeah, because and this is such a great lesson of life, period, because all humans, no matter how well-meaning and beautiful they are, every single human only knows life through their perspective. What do I
Yes.
mean by that? I
Mm.
mean that through our perspective of life, we tend to assume without beautiful, open conversations that everyone likes what you like, everyone thinks what you
Mhm.
think, everyone understands what you understand, how you understand it. And that is not true.
Not at all.
Not even in the least. Because I would have just guessed and been wrong that Carlene would have loved retreats. Why would I have guessed that? Only my perspective. No.
Because you love retreats, right? So
Right.
you put them on, so of course, right? Why
Yes. Why wouldn't anybody love them? But
Because when you
tell us.
think about what a retreat is, I mean, a lot of times they're in a very beautiful location. It's about relaxation, it's about whatever. But for some of us, especially as type A personalities who are very kind of tightly wound and you don't know who's all going to be there, like if you have either be a little bit of social anxiety, it's a little unnerving.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love the who all gonna be there. I want to know, like, who are these people?
Hmm.
Because the worst for me, even still, people think I'm an extrovert. I'm not. I'm an introvert. I get drained by people very fast. And after a while, I can't do it. But I
Hmm.
also want to know the type of people who are going to be in a space I'm choosing to leave my house to be in too, because the worst type of hell, especially on a boat. Have you ever been trapped on a boat with people?
I can't say trapped, but yeah.
That's my word for it. I mean, not
Right.
technically trapped, but it feels like you're trapped because you have to wait until the excursion is finished before
That's true.
departing,
Yeah.
you know? But just to be in a room or a space with people that you wouldn't have chosen for yourself
Hmm.
is unnerving. And so are you the retreat type is a good question to ask. And I think even backing up from that question is wondering or understanding what a retreat, or more specifically, what a retreat with me, hosted by me,
Yes.
created by me is like. But let's take ourselves through this story in sequential order.
Okay.
When I asked you, well, tell me what makes you say you're not the retreat type. What is it that you said that?
I said a few things, which I just mentioned about being kind of like tightly wound, type A personality, being a little neurodivergent, which a lot of us are, and feeling like you have to mask in spaces where people aren't like you. Maybe they don't think like you, maybe they don't look like you, they don't have a similar background. And so you feel like you have to be a different version of yourself. And who wants to go on vacation and do that? Like, that doesn't sound like fun at all to me.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pay to go up being uncomfortable.
No,
No,
I can stay
yeah,
home and do that.
yes,
And then I thought about things like sharing a room or having to do, mandatory fun or like these activities, things that maybe I'm just not into. And I'm going, and you want me to pay $3,000? Thank you, but no, thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely. Yeah. And it's so fascinating because your perspective of what a retreat could be in that way is spot on. You could absolutely invest in a retreat in a beautiful location, somewhere tropical or wherever,
Hmm.
and it's not with people that you enjoy. You're neurodivergent and got a little social anxiety, and so then it feels like hell when everyone's like, and you're like, get away from me. And
Right.
then on top of that, just when people don't have shared experiences or you feel forced to go and attend these things that are part of the retreat programming, that's not something that would make you lean in and say yes. And so when you shared that, I thought, wow, your
Hmm.
perspective of a retreat and then you deeming yourself not a retreat girly or not a retreat type makes so much sense. And then
Yes.
I said to you, well, can I tell you what my retreats are like?
You
And you
did.
said, "Sure." And so I shared the fact that here is my way of creating a retreat. And first of all, if you're not sure, if you're new here or don't really know what the heck is a retreat, there's different types of getaways. There's a girls' trip or a vacation that you may
Mhm.
take with your loved one or your family. And those are pure relaxation. You may or may not have agendas. Maybe you're going and seeing sightseeing or going on foodie tours. But the purpose of those is purely I'm stealing away from my typical rhythm of life to go breathe and relax. I did that with my girls from college, late June. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my crazy stories. You saw my pottery. Did you see my pottery that I brought home? That I did.
No.
Oh, I got to tell you about that story
Okay.
another
All right.
time. But that was purely fun, food, relaxation, naps. And there's a place for those types of trips that are vacations and relaxation where you just need a breather and need a break. Now, a retreat is that plus programming, often by a leader or some leaders, that allow you to relax and unwind and eat an amazing food. And on top of that, you are engaging in some activities that are transformational. So these are for retreats, are
Mm,
for people that really love to learn. I'm a nerd, I'm a geek about
mm.
learning anything.
It's funny you say that. I don't think I have to stop for a second because I don't think we use the word transformational when you and I talk, and that's
No.
actually a really good word. So, yeah,
Yes.
that is a good
Because
word.
because a lot of people take vacations and they feel amazing while there, and then you press play back on your levels of stress, and basically you press play on the way that you were previous
Mhm,
to that trip. Nothing really changed. And I
mm,
used to joke when I was in my corporate world taking my PTOs on vacation. I used to say as soon as I got back to work, I undid my vacation.
that's very true. That is
Yeah.
very true. But okay,
So
cool. I'm gonna let you get back to where you were, but I just thought that word transformational just it hit home for me just now.
what made that different for you?
Because when I was thinking about retreats, it was always gonna feel like work. Like, yes, it's there for relaxation, but you're also there to work, and so that didn't f so but understanding that there's work involved possibly, but it has a higher purpose, not just to do stuff, but it's actually trying to transform you. So that's actually another light bulb that just went off for me.
I love that we're having this conversation. So because that's it. If the vacation is just relaxation, retreats or relaxation with the side of I left transformed, I left different, I left understanding myself in a
Mhm.
different way. And so yes, there's work involved, except the work that's involved, at least at my retreats, are completely optional. I always give my ladies that attend my retreats the the autonomy and the freedom, because one thing I want anyone that's in my world to understand about themselves, not only when you're on retreat with me but in life, is you are sovereign, you are
Mm,
powerful. And the way that life is structured with school, with being parented, that level of understanding our sovereignty and our ability to be powerful, to create change and choice, is taken away a lot of times. And no one ever gives it back. No one
right.
ever says, guess what? You what that thought you're thinking, that desire you have, go for it. We
Mhm.
literally have to be told that. So retreats are typically opportunities where I give my women that attend back permission to be freely
Right.
themselves. And
And that's what
including,
attracted me to your version of a retreat.
yeah, including how you are showing up at this retreat. So I always tell my women, if you want to take a nap, and I have a session I'm hosting at 2 o'clock about journaling your future, for example, and it's 1:45, and you're like, I don't want to be there, don't come. That, and a lot of times my retreat attendees are like, that was one of the
Yeah.
biggest things you gave me, is that level of
Yes.
freedom, that I didn't have the pressure. And then you actually, when you do come to an element of the retreat that is for your own transformation, you are coming because you want to, and then you receive what you're wanting to
Mm,
get. So that I remember in our conversation, though I didn't say transformation, you were like, wow, you give permission to not show up there.
yes.
Also, one other thing was key that you said, it was that I attract like-minded people.
Yes.
Share
Yeah,
more about that.
when I ask kind of like, well, who typically comes to your types of retreats? And you had said before, like I am kind of your type of client, right? I own my own business, highly motivated, driven. And so being around like-minded people who also have some sort of shared something,
Yeah.
right? Could be ethnicity, it could be life experience, but whatever it is, there's something that we do share. And then the other thing is when you do have that social anxiety, I talk about not wanting to be forced fun, but also not wanting to feel excluded, right? Like being in a space where no one's thinks like you, looks like you, act like you, and you feel very much, I just spent $3,000 to kind of feel excluded. Now that's even worse, right?
Absolutely not.
So, and I
Wow.
loved everything you told me about um, being able to choose what I wanted to attend. That was game changing because you get the agenda. You're like, "Whoo, this is yeah, that's a lot, right?" Or I don't, journaling. I'm not a big journaler. That's not really my thing, and so to be forced to have to do that would suck. So
Not
to be like,
fun.
no, that's when I'm gonna either gonna be at the beach or take a nap or talk to my husband because I miss him, right? Like giving me freedom to just do whatever I need to do is was really a light bulb moment for me
That's
that made me
it.
go, "I think I could actually do one of her retreats."
Yeah, I love to hear that. And so that's why I wanted to have this conversation in front of others, because if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, I didn't think I was the retreat type, or I don't think I'm the retreat type, really understanding that number one, I'm not ever going to pack anything up with wall to wall agenda items. That's not relaxing, not only for me leading you, but also for attending. And most times, because we attract who we are, I am a highly motivated go getter generator type in
Right.
the human design. I don't come away from home and work to behave the same way. And so there's a lot of spaciousness that's created and built in
Mm.
to my experiences because I want you to breathe. And so that's also why I chose to create BS Live, which, if you haven't heard or seen, is my all one day luxury retreat experience happening in beautiful Tampa, Florida. I'm praying that this 100-degree weather we've been having, this record degree 100 degrees, will be broken by October for us to enjoy one day. Because I thought about the fact that, and I heard feedback for many years, that not a lot of my women can take 5, 6 days off. And for some, just right now, it's not in the budget to spend $4,000, $5,000. So this experience is attainable and accessible, price wise and day wise, because kind of like you too, like I love your relationship you have with your husband, where you're like, I don't want to be away from him for that long. And I love that so much. That's so beautiful, And one day I'm actually, because I've been having men knock on my DM doors, like, when are you gonna have a retreat for men? When y'all
There you
show
go.
up. Okay, when
Ooh,
y'all show up.
okay.
Because I want to do things, but they get a little scared sometimes. And I would also love to even have couples retreats where you can
Mm,
deepen and transform your relationship. Because one thing I do believe to be true about life is we're either growing or dying. We're just like anything that's alive on this planet. Plants are either growing and green and lush, and they're being fertilized and watered and pruned and all of that. And if we're not doing the same thing with our life and our mind and our heart, we're literally dying and suffering, holding in emotions and hurts and pains that have occurred over our lifetime. That's something that at BS Live, I have modalities like breath work to just release.
mhm.
There's a somatic experience that we're going to do at BS Live, where you literally are just sitting there doing little bitty stretches, but it creates your brain waves are in a space of getting downloads and clarity about things that you may have been wanting a decision about. We're going to play, because I don't do anything that's not fun. We're also going to have really amazing food. So this is
That's
a really
important.
great opportunity. Oh, listen.
That's
If it's
important.
not fun and there's not good, delicious tasting food, not happening. And also just amazing people. There's another law to me of the universe that says like attracts like, meaning I attract people like myself. And I've hosted these retreats now for the last 5 years. I've never attracted, knock on some wood, because I also take a little bit of a review of who's intending on coming, the energy that's there. In fact, the group from 2022, they meet without me. They're all just
Oh, I love
besties,
that.
and they
I
all
love
came by
that.
themselves. They all came by themselves and shared your same concerns. Like, I wasn't sure I trusted you, Bridget,
Right.
but I wasn't sure who else was going to be there. And that I just take so much gratitude in, to trust
Mm,
me, but then at the same time in being able to trust me and yourself to feel if this is a yes for you, knowing that you're going to walk into a room where there's someone you're going to connect with, and you don't have to be
right.
besties after the experience. If you do, cool, but if not, to be able to be in a room, in a space with other people who will love growing and love learning new things about themselves and about the world, then this retreat experience is absolutely for you. There was something else that we talked about that you said, oh, well, then maybe I am someone that could come to your retreat.
I
What
think
was it, dear?
I don't know if it's one thing. I wish I could recall, but I think it may have been kind of a culmination of everything that we've talked about. Um, but I know for me, and maybe it's what I'm feeling right now, is that walking in not with a lot of anxiety, walking in like already feeling like, okay, however I want this to play out is how it's going to play out, makes me go, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Instead of walking in with, because I'm going to put the most expectations on myself. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on myself. And so if I can take that off and walk in with just like already being free, then I can receive whatever it is I'm supposed to get from this particular retreat. And I think that's why I finally went, you know what? Maybe I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Even having this conversation and this dialogue and hearing it back from you, I will say, it even just no matter what you're doing as a business owner, to be able to talk in real time like this with someone that's hearing your message of what you've created and telling you why it's not for them, and then sharing what your intentions are, and then not from a space, because I wasn't trying to convince you when we were having this
Mm-mm.
conversation privately. I was just like, oh well, let me share what I do,
Right.
because maybe what you're thinking a retreat isn't really it. And so that was such a beautiful way to understand, yes, you get to, at least in my space, I cannot speak for any other
Right.
retreat people,
Exactly.
so,
And I
so don't
said,
go
but
nowhere saying, oh,
I
Bridget says I can
specifically
do
said
retreat. Yeah.
I could do your retreat. That's what
Yeah.
I said. I did not
Yeah.
say I was retreat girly yet. I said I'm Bridget retreat girly. So,
Yes.
but so here's the cool thing, and I don't even think because you said that after I told you my concern, you were like, "Well, let me tell you about mine." I feel like that's not how it went. I think you asked me more questions about why I felt that way before you even shared.
I
And
did.
so, yeah, so that
Yep.
was like you kind of hurt my concerns. So yeah, that was really
Yeah.
cool.
That
And I
I
love
I
that
did.
as your bookkeeper, that there's space in our conversations for, like, we talk about your numbers, we talk about your business, but we have a relationship now where I felt comfortable because that's actually kind of rude to be like, yeah, I don't really like retreats. I That's what you do for a living. But I felt safe and comfortable enough to be like, wow, that's not really my thing. And I'm glad I did. Had I not, we never would have had this conversation.
Yes, I love that so much. So many levels on that specific topic. One, the fact that our relationship, which is critical. In fact, I'm in my mentor, Kate Northrup's group, Relaxed Money. And just the last session we had, we did an inventory on all of our money relationships. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your tools you use? How are you
Hmm.
feeling about your bookkeeper? How are you feeling about your attorney? It was such a beautiful inventory to be able to understand that if you're tolerating a relationship in your life or business in a certain way, it's eating away at your energy. So to be able to have such a beautiful, authentic dialogue with you, and just in a few months, to me makes me rate you at a 10 in terms of my money team, for us to be able to have that conversation, and that
Hmm.
very real conversation. And then on top of that, for you to be so open and generous to come here with me live to further this conversation in order to share with other girlies who may think I'm not a retreat girly, that this is a great opportunity for you to come and be held and be seen. Come to
Absolutely.
BS Live. BS stands for my name, Bridgette Simmonds, as well as BS, because a lot of BS holds us back
Mhm.
from our complete and utter freedom and potential in our lives. And at BS Live, it's about shifting your belief systems, the other BS, to be able to allow yourself to be in alignment with believing that you can absolutely live a life that feels like peace, that feels like love, that you can shift your belief systems to know and understand that you can release the burdens and the weight of pain that you've been carrying for a lifetime or for a long time. And that when you do that, you can absolutely be the author and creator of the most beautiful experience of your life. And so, this is my loving live invitation to you, that if this is speaking to you, comment or DM BS Live. I will slide in your DMs with all the information. I would love to see you. If you have any questions, if something's not clear for you, slide in my DMs and find out anything that I can share. I'm happy to. 1 day immersive experience, October 4th in beautiful Tampa. I cannot wait to hug you and squeeze you. I hope you decide to come, Carlene. I hope your schedule is clear
Oh,
and you
we'll
can
be
make
getting
it.
back from a 3-week trip.
Oh,
So luckily, I will be traveling for 3 weeks. I don't think I'll be able to make it because it'll be
yeah,
like
that'll be a
right
lot.
getting back,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
next time.
Yes,
Next
next
time.
time. Well, we plan to have more BS lives, but I'm so excited that you're here. And share with us anything that you've got going on. I'll share how you can connect with Carlene. It's there on the screen, as well as we'll put it in the comments. But talk to us about what you're working on, who should connect with you,
Well,
all the good stuff.
I think it'll be a good example of how you and I started working together. You felt like your finances were kind of like a mess, right? Like you kind of felt overwhelmed. One of those things, it gave you anxiety, gave you angst. And so we did what we call a diagnostic review. It's like going to the doctor and saying, hey, my knee hurts. And they're going to go, let me run an x-ray, let me do an MRI. It's the same thing. We do that for your QuickBooks. We go in, we come back and show you, here's what's going on, here's how we would fix it for you, and here's what it would look like. That's to get you healthy, we fix it. And then to stay healthy, right? This is what it would look like to work with us on an ongoing basis. We try to give our clients peace of mind. That's our goal. Our goal is that your job is to send us statements if we need them and answer a few questions a month. And other than that, you can go do what you do. Go make retreats, go do breath work, go do whatever it is that you do, because this is what we do.
I love it. And she does it well. Her and her team do it so, so well. And I got to say, this may not mean a lot, but I'm sure it does to some people that are like me. Your system that you use, and I think I shared this with you, of the questions that you need answered each month, it's so fun to answer. Previous
It's
relationships.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it's gamified in the way that when I finish it, it
Oh
crosses off and then it gets confetti. And again,
yeah.
it may seem so small, but to our
I'm a confetti girl. I love that.
yes. And our brains, the way our brains are wired, we're wired for rewards. And so I
Mhm.
just love working with you and being able to know that everything in my financial house regarding my business is in proper place and that I'm supported by the best in the business. So I appreciate you. And
Thank
I
you.
highly recommend, if you're listening to me and you have a business, do not feel ashamed at all. If you feel like you
No.
haven't touched it at all ever, or it's been a while, whatever, Carlene is such a beautiful, gracious person and handling the diagnostic and helping you to understand where to go from there. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. Connect with Carlene. And once again, and I love the diagnostic space because that's what BS Live is, but for your life and
Oh.
for your heart. The BS Live experience is a diagnostic check-in with regard to how is life for you? If you're
Mm.
pretending it's okay, putting on a face, masking, like Carlene talked about, and spending time being exhausted behind people pleasing and putting everyone else before you, BS Live is for you. If you haven't checked in on the condition of your heart, your head, your emotions, and your overall being, this is for you. If you haven't been hugged and squeezed and touched and looked at like you're the most beautiful creation on the planet,
Mm.
this experience is for you. I want you to come, feel held, feel seen, feel loved, and connect back to the fact, the truth that you are worthy of everything that you desire, whether you've ever spoken it out loud or not. So I welcome you and I thank you so much, Carlene, for being here with me and talking through this. For all the ones who think,
I think we lost some
all right, can you
audio.
hear me
There
okay?
we go. Yes,
Okay.
now we can.
And even if you listen to me, Carlene and I speak, and you're like, yeah, I'm still not a retreat girly, that's okay too. No
It's okay
worries.
too.
It's yeah, clarity is power. And to know who
They
you
may not
are,
have found the right person yet, right?
boom. Yeah.
But
Or
but
you
still
might
be
just not
open.
be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exact still be open though, like I was. Still be open.
Yeah.
You never know. You might find the right one that you connect with.
Yep. Because it's all about alignment and connectivity for sure. So again, Carlene, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
here. I
having me.
appreciate
You're
you.
welcome. I love it.
Yeah, and thank you for joining this live. If you're catching the replay, type replay in the comments. Once again, if you have questions about BS Live or about anything I've got going on or questions about Carlene, connect with her for a consultation. She's incredible. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so
Thanks. Have a great
much.
one. Bye.
Bye.